2016 Women's World Tour transformed what was a previous Women's World Cup, a series of one-day races, often stagnated by gaps of 4 to 6 weeks, into a narrative that went from March through to September, finishing with the La Madrid Challenge, starting with Strade Bianche, of 17 races, comprising one-day classics and stage races. The organisers have benefited from being part of the World Tour, the teams, the athletes, new sponsors are coming into the frame. The riders, as part of their team, now have a whole of season reason for being. They're professional athletes. They train all year round, and so now their whole season is bound by competitions throughout the year, high points, low points. When you look at the courses, the terrain, the cobbles, the hills, the wind, the drama that goes around competing in a very uncontrolled environment, that is a beauty of road cycling, but also what women bring with them. We want their personalities to come to fore, not just when they're winning. When we created the Women's World Tour, we created with a vision of where we want to end up in 3 to 5 years. On that journey, we've got a lot of development to go. The biggest lesson for us is how strong the appetite is to follow women's cycling. The demand out there is very, very high. We mentioned not being ready for the flood of interest in the Women's World Tour, not being ready for the demand from the viewing audience to be able to look at the World Tour anywhere, anytime, through any medium. And what we've done with that is invited contribution and invited feedback to actually help us make it better. So our learning is to ensure that we can create a hub for women's road cycling where everything you might possibly want to find out about the Women's World Tour is centralised. Everywhere you might go to watch online or on television or in person is available to the fan. This year's production of the Women's World Tour has increased the demand. Next year it's about raising the profile of that platform to the outside world. The challenge and the opportunity for us is to create a viable, financially and commercially viable whole where each of the stakeholder group can benefit. That the teams can secure greater longevity through ongoing sponsorships and potentially a return on investment of being part of the series. And the event organisers, through the commercial revenues they gain from being part of the World Tour, actually consider their investment to have a greater return than not being part of the Women's World Tour. And at the same time, working with the teams to develop a new set of teams criteria that provide a stronger team environment that not only supports the team's viability in terms of its ability to secure sponsors, participate in events, but to provide a more secure environment for the athlete.